Well, since we spend all this money to fix the foundation, we might as well also add more expense and make it fancier, just for a lot of the offices to move out of the city limits. Dear whiskey. Come on. How's it going? Whiskey and I, we stopped over here. We're he's having a conversation with the squirrel, of course. We're gonna show you some updates. We've been doing some remodeling over here, and you know, as we when we get ready to get out of here, I'll show some updates. Otherwise, I don't know, making some content. Hopefully you're having a great day. Hopefully everything's going good for you. Sucks for us. It always does. It really does. I get it. There's people who say don't be so negative. I've tried not to be, right? Try to point out, oh, there's good things here and there. You know, and maybe there is, and I can appreciate that, but I used to be that person, right? I ain't seeing no good anywhere, and I'm seeing it get worse everywhere. Right? We're going through some struggles. Give an update for our music. We appreciate everyone that's helping us get the push out there, because that's the only way it's happening for us. We don't got no money to spend on advertising, all this, how the other people are doing it. So we're doing it the good old-fashioned way. Word of mouth, right? Sharing with your friends and all that. We're running into, I got some people asking about, there's some of it ain't showing up yet on a few platforms, mostly Apple. And I'm having issues. First, couldn't figure out what was going on, because they don't give you no straight answers. Well, to come to find out, it's my album artwork that I'm releasing is not, is accepted. Some reason it ain't to their standards. So, and it's the real pictures. The ones that are the AI album covers, they're fine with. And that's so stupid. So I got a bunch, because I didn't want to use the AI in that at all. I got a bunch that I made up, real pictures that I made, but apparently they're supposedly not up to standards, right? So whatever, uploading standards, whatever. But no, otherwise, whatever. Point out some depression issues, right? A lot of days are depressing. And when you know, just consider what I got going on. I got all the people that should be most 100% behind me, supportive and stuff. I'm not saying there's nobody, right? I'm just saying certain people that should be most and that understand it, they're not, right? Instead, they want to cause more problems for you. And then I get people tell me, oh, well, once in a while, because they think they're being helpful. They won't, if you bring up something and you say something and it may not even be towards them, but they suddenly feel offended, then they, kind of, you can tell because then they point out things about you, right? And they'll say, whatever, I don't want to go on and on about shit I've already talked about, right? But they'll say stuff along the line, you need some help, right? You're depressed, you need some help, right? And then also, you can't live like this, you can't continue like this, you need to reach out and get some government assistance. Hold the hell on, the government caused my problems, right? And when I bring that up to them, no, there's no help, but we're glad to help you, to sign you up on our program, right? But we just need you to go get a doctor's note. And I told them I wasn't interested in their damn shit anyways, right? But still, other people are trying to do the push behind my back, right? Just being helpful, right? So, well, he needs a doctor's note why he hasn't been employed, right? And what it boils down to is our government is more than happy. They want me to, it's an overall thing. Depression is on the rise, right? No kidding. The world being shitty is also on the rise, right? There's people, the world around us, society is causing depression, right? Our own government is causing depression on us, right? Then, now we're at such a state that our own people around us are causing things depressing, right? This is the downfall. We're at the end of the downfall of man, of humankind, right? As it was stated from the beginning, right? This is what it is, right? But let's back up here. So I get, okay, you need help. I'm not trying to say that there's never instances where people need to be put on medications and stuff like that, but this is what I tried to explain. Yeah, okay, because then people say, well, just go to the doctor then. Well, first of all, what's it going to cost me to go to the doctor? But, oh, well, then they'll approve me since I, whatever. But in order to do that, so they want me to give something that says, now they got some medical examiner saying I am depressed, right, is what they want, or whatever the issues. This is a large scale thing, right? Then they're, then they want to prescribe you this stuff, right? And they'll prescribe you this stuff that numbs you down, maybe causes you worse problems. A lot of times, usually it does, and it hides the problem. Sometimes, with some people I see around us, the problem is their own actions, right? Their own sinfulness causes their life to become depressing, and they don't want to see it, and they don't want to face it. Well, you're not. And so instead we go see shrinks, right? Just like society recommended by the system, the beast system, right? So now you're on these medications that could cause major issues, and you're on and you're seeing shrinks, and what they're doing, all they're doing is trying to make you feel good. All this is doing is trying to make you feel good about the world around you, to make you live good enough in the world around you, to be accepting of this world around you. So you're numbed down to it, and you become a part of it, taking part in all the disgusting stuff around you, all the stuff that has depressed you, right? But we're numbed down on it and acting like, oh, there's good in the world. And by all means, I'm not cutting down on anyone that has to be on these medication stuff. I'm saying this is the overall thing, what they have done to us, right? And I've seen it happen time and time again. I've seen people I really love get lost to this nonsense, right? They end up depressed. They're depressed because of the life before, a life that all these years, right? And you get it, but at the end of the day, so they go see a shrink, right? Or, whatever you want to call it, right? A therapist, psychologist, right? And they're just there these people are just people too. I've known enough of them. They're living just as nasty lives as everyone else, right? And somehow we think they can go for the answers. Or, on another example, is the Catholic teaching that you go to a priest and get forgiven of your sins. I'm speaking of, I got one person in mind that has been a part of both of these things, right? Things started getting bad, and she says, we should start agreeing, we should start going to church. I'm agreeing, right? But the holdup is, she thinks we should go to this Catholic church, knowing that I was raised Catholic, right? And her family background was, I guess, majority Catholic. But what was the real issue there? Well, and she's also seeing, not even telling me at the time, seeing therapists, right? Psychologists, helping her with her issues in life. Well, then when we start having issues, we try to make an agreement that we'll go see somebody. We should try to save this. We'll go see somebody, right? Well, it can't be who you're already seeing, right? And so I'm like, okay, then it should be a Christian thing then, right? And at least biblically background, right? Let's get down to the real issues. Well, we can't get to the real issues, because the real issues is, you had this shit that kind of made you messed up. Well, they go into the therapy, they're putting you on this medication, you're taking this medication that's causing you other side effects that you don't even realize sometimes with your body, sometimes, whatever, and sometimes your moods, how you act, you're being numbed down. And then you start doing things, let's say as an example, behind my back, that you wouldn't want me to do. And this system, you go to therapy, that's perfectly normal because of these issues you had in life. That it's perfectly normal that you would act like that. It's not nice, but they're help you excuse being a shitty person, and that's what they do. Help you excuse being your shitty activities, right? Eventually you end up screwing around, and this therapist tells you it's okay, right? Because that's how you're acting because of out of this or that, right? And make sure you're taking your medicine. You need that, right? And that's what they want to do to me, and I'm not having it. Yeah, I can admit I'm depressed, but let's see here. How do you fix the fucking problem, right? Let's throw some drugs at it and keep you messed up, and now your life's getting way more out of control, following way more Satan's way than it is God's way, because you put your faith in the system. Now, for me to sit here and talk about that, it's rough. It's not like, why I see people that are, being stupid and cussing out God in their life. It seems to be going all right. My life just don't really be getting any better, and I'm talking about standing on faith. Well, that's what faith is, right? Not saying, I believe God's got my back when everything's going my way. It's saying, I believe God's got my back while I'm sitting here drowning. He's the only one, right? Certainly not the people that caused it. And why do they cause it? Because we become shitty people. First of all, society's got us, we're so caught up in all the social media bullshit, right? Facebook, and women's got even that much more. They're always on the fucking Snapchat, TikTok. We got all this shit that's controlling our minds, right? All of it, social media. And then we got whatever comes on the television, and it's been like that for years. This has gotten out of hand for years. way before we can blame it on not just my generation, my parents' generation, right? And even before that, it became more and more and more ungodly and more seduced by technology, right? And they're using television and everything else to sway society in the direction they want it to go. Are you going to be a part of it or not? People take so much issue because I'm doing all these things that say, no, I'm not going to be a part of it and I'm not going to support it on their terms. You know what? I'm going to do things on my terms now. Because that's what they've done. Turned people into shitty people. Right? I think about, it sucks. But really, ultimately, a lot of that I try to avoid in a lot of my video conversations or whatever is really the person that ultimately brought all this upon me. I loved more than anyone, anything, right? And not that I was perfect, right? But I tried to make right anything I might have, But on the other end, here I am. All along, I was starting to get blamed for stuff. There's things I put that I ignored was going on, I guess, signs, because I didn't want to be this because of what past relationship issues, right? You think the stuff you blame yourself about, or you see other people be, you try to make sure you're not that person. So you put all this trust in someone who's going behind your back, and and it eats away at them. It don't matter you're going to a therapist or putting you on these drugs, because they're not fixing the real issue, right? And the real issue was you fucked up and you didn't face it, right? And so then we get this, we'll go confess it. Okay, those of us who want to believe that that's how that stuff goes, so okay, we'll go confess. I'll find a priest and confess my sins. You didn't. That's not how it works, right? You have to confess to the person you wronged, but we don't want to face that, right? And that's the whole issue. And the truth is, I waited out here down in rock bottom, hoping really that everybody would do the right thing, but hoping more than anything that just that person would do the right thing, would stop, think about it, figure it out, realize, right, and do the right thing. But people don't do the right thing. And now we even excuse it. Show you what we got going on here. So this is our vacation home here. This is our second home when we're vacationing over on this side of town, right? Got a few of them. We're fortunate. This is what we got going on here, and I hope you don't mind. This is at your expense. Putting in new sidewalks that go all the way around, follow the park around, and get a new entry into the park from that road over there. And the sidewalk's going to follow the park around. So this is all at your expense. Thank you. Fixing my place up here. But it's all part of the smart city stuff, right? In order to comply and get all that federal money, they're slurping all over it. All over, whatever. They surely are. And in order to, they got it, part of that is to fix these parks up the way they say it could be. We gotta have all these sidewalks installed now because we're beautifying our parks. Let's get in there. Hope you don't mind that we did this at your expense. But that's what we got here. And we get this one done, on to the next park, right? Good old Defiance. Soon, you won't be able to see the corruption due to all these beautiful parks we have. But anyways, it's just a shitty world we're letting be created, and we're not. We as a whole, society, does not want to face the real issues, the real problems, right? That's my thing. You know, you can't throw, that's unacceptable to me, that you think you're gonna throw drugs at me and give me some counseling to make me be accepting of this is the way it is, and just go on about it so I can just become one as everybody else and as shitty as everybody else. I got standards, I got things I won't break, right? They can't fix the issue, okay? So at the end of the day, sooner or later you become even worse, because at the end of the day, the issue is still there and never fixed, right? Certain things going on with me, all these issues could have been fixed, right? But then who are we as people? And that's what I keep saying, because I look at just how my own brother has done to me, has been trying to do to me now. Just says everything that got me in this situation and everything I've learned in this life, okay? For a long time, I've been putting anyone out that I can't trust or whatever, that proves they're not right. I get, eliminate them out of my life. The person that ultimately set me in this position, seen that happening, right? And that's where we get at, so people start becoming shitty people, and they get to brush it off, look the other way, right? This happened on more than one occasion. It's a hard lesson learned. But this last time, I've never been so disappointed. I guess that's the worst part of all of it, right? Never been so disappointed in someone, so shocked that because that person of all people, I would not expected it, right? But who am I to these people now, right? Anyone from my past, right? Because the thing is, I can give you examples as in relationships, right? Each one of them have been the same. Eventually, I'm going to become smart enough to figure out what the common denominator is, right? But one of those issues, we can get to that later. But the thing is, so they're being, by everyone around them, when they do something wrong. First of all, we have a problem in this society where if we do something wrong, we don't want to admit it and won't face it, right? So then you got all the people around you excusing it. Like friends will know certain people, somebody done something wrong, but they're your friend. They don't want to get on your ass or make you feel bad. So they'll find ways to excuse it, right? You go to these therapists, their job is to make you feel happy with the way life is, right? Not change it, right? So they help you excuse it, right? And you go on just becoming worse of a person, right? Because whoever, the friend, whoever, right? And so you take, it's not like I'm the only one, but you take a case like mine, I'm telling you from experience, right? It's because they end up doing you wrong. Everyone's helping them excuse it, but it eats away at them because they know deep down you would not do that to them. So it gets so bad that it eats away that you become non-existent, right? Because other people they've done that to, it's fine, they can still be associate with them, right? They might have done these bad things to them, but they overlook it. They feel like they deserved it, and they were shitty enough people. But when it comes down to you, or in my case, me, right? The shoe on the other foot, you couldn't be as loyal. You couldn't be as honest. You couldn't, right? It's not like you should think that you couldn't come to me. You should know me enough that you could have came to me and been forgiven, right? Because this is the way God says. He don't say you go to a priest and you get forgiven, and now you find ways to brush it off and feel good about yourself. No, he says you confess to God and the person wronged, and you turn from the sin, right? Then you will be forgiven, right? The only people that can forgive you for your sin is God, and in this life, the person that has been wronged, right? But that's not how we're teaching it, right? And because the person that's been wronged also is commanded to forgive. Why? Because you're not perfect either, and you want forgiven. So this is the way I try to live my life, right? And the people, these certain people know that. And so at the end of the day, it eats away at them, because they know you would have not been that way to them. It would have been different the other way around, right? So they'll instead, because they can't handle that, but yet they also can't face themselves and truly get it corrected, then so it continues to eat away at them. So they'll end up, you might as well be dead, right? You don't exist to them. And because they know that you're actually the different one. Not everyone actually is. Some of us are, right? They see the difference, and it tears them up because they can't face it. Because I've had experience of this. Then by chance you end up facing them, then either they break down and get argumentative because they ain't feeling right. It's eating away. You see it in their eyes, right? Or they brush it off, try to be all, like everything's just great, but you see it in their eyes. They know it. And, so I got everyone telling me, oh yeah, you go seek some professional help, get this behind you, and get right back at it once again, doing it the way the system says. That has absolutely ruined your life, right? Do it again, so that you can invest all this time and get to nobody's, like this whole dating thing. I'm not dating. I do stupid stuff sometimes, make it look that way, but I'm not dating, haven't been, and I have no interest in, especially the way it is in today's society. It's just ridiculous, right? And but that's not the way it's meant to be. God didn't make it that way. Society made it that way. And people are ruining their souls, and they don't even realize it, because the stuff they do and that they think is innocent dating is going to send your ass to hell. But we can't talk about that. We can't face that, right? But the thing is, why? So you invest all this time. Now you have step-kids, step-grandkids, whatever, that you take on as your own, and you're totally invested in. You love them like they're your own, right? For that, now all of that's non-existent. Now you don't exist to any of these people, right? It's just how it is. Anyways, hopefully you're one of the good people, right? And thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep all of His commandments. For that is the whole duty of man. For God will bring every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil. See you.